think some Broadway audience members chomp at the bit for the next Carrie, waiting for the next dumpster fire of a show to come out so they can hate it with unabashed, malevolent glee. That, coupled with the inability to see any theater over the course of nearly 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the craving for a flop has only intensified. Eventually, there was going to be a casualty of the unfortunate Broadway hate train. Then along came Diana. Hello and welcome to One Man's Opinion, where I review professional theater across Connecticut, national tours, and Broadway. Today I will be speaking on Diana the Musical with books and lyrics by Joe DiPietro and music and lyrics by David Bryan, directed by Christopher Ashley, and it tells the story of Diana Spencer, played by Gianna de Wall, from her engagement with Charles, Prince of Wales, played by Ro Hartranft, to her death in 1997. Now let's go straight to the question at hand. Is Diana the Musical really as much of a train wreck as some people are making it out to be? No. I've seen plenty worse musicals in my time as a critic. I mean, it's not as bad as Summer, the Donna Summer musical, or Head Over Heels, or King Kong. Though I will die on the hill of King Kong's puppetry. That thing was awesome. And I would say it's even better than Beetlejuice. Good. Let's focus on the positive first. The saving grace of this show is the cast. Oh my god, if this cast wasn't in this show, it would be an exhaustingly tedious watch. Every single cast member puts their all into the performance, and it shows. The ensemble maintains an energy that I don't think I've seen in a show in a very long time, which is great, considering they're on stage almost as often as the principals. The leads are exceptional. Gianna de Wall is radiant as Diana. Two-time Tony winner Judy Kaye is great as Queen Elizabeth. And Ro Hartranft and Aaron Davey do well with what they're given with Prince Charles and his mistress Camilla, respectively. I enjoyed David Zinn'S scenic design. I particularly liked the Buckingham Palace facade that sits upstage, and the combination of mirrors with Natasha Katz's lighting creates some nice reflective and ethereal visual effects. William Ivey Long also deserves applause for recreating some of Diana's signature outfits that she shined in over the years. But that's about where the good ends, because the rest is a bit of a mess. The music is bass, generic-sounding 80s pop. It's uninspired and unoriginal. I mean, yes, the show is set in the 80s and early 90s, so you want to have that feel, but not like this. If we could have gone with something a bit more kind of like the new wave sound that was coming through, that would have been great, and it would have been so much more energetic and invigorating and exciting, musically speaking. The friend of mine who went to the show with me, he and I were both humming Starlight's "Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now" instead of the music from the show as when the show ended, because the score was so similar to the Starlight song that it was easier to remember that song versus the actual score. And of the 27 listed musical numbers in the playbill, all but 5 feature the ensemble, which is way too much ensemble. For some inexplicable reason, the show has them on stage interjecting into almost every song, and if they aren't on stage, they're oohing and aahing off stage. Not even halfway through the first act, I was ready to yell for them to get off stage so we can focus on the actual principals of the cast. They don't add anything, except for musical layers that aren't interesting in the first place. The book and the lyrics are also bad. I mean, in comparing a face-off at a party between Diana and Camilla to the famous Muhammad Ali-Joe Frazier fight, the Thrilla in Manila, is that necessary? The characters are also lacking definition. The musical is obviously designed to canonize Diana as a saint, even making her own infidelities appear permissible. If there's anything that she is guilty of as far as the musical is concerned, is that she starts off as naive, then learns to overcome her inexperience in the royal court to use the system to her own advantage. And that's about it. I mean, there's not much development in these characters beyond that. The paparazzi, who are arguably the biggest villains of the musical, are portrayed as Dick Tracy-esque cartoon characters, though, as I said, Ro Hartramp and Aaron Davey do their best with what they're given, they are both presented as little more than opportunists. And when they're given a chance to have their characters' motivations broadened and better defined, it's not until the second act, at which point we don't really care. And it's presented so tongue-in-cheek, it doesn't feel sincere. What's also interesting is the total omission of Prince Philip and Diana's sons, William and Harry. Once the boys are born, they are only mentioned in passing, and the most Philip is mentioned is in maybe the only really good number of the show, and that's Queen Elizabeth's 11 o'clock number, An Officer's Wife. It would have been interesting to see what advice Charles might have gleaned from his own philandering father in the midst of this mess, elevating the plot element to the systemic patriarchal infidelity could have developed Charles's character more. The only really great scene that moved me was when Diana visits the AIDS clinic. There is an actual journey written in this scene for the patients, and it's far more engaging than anything else that's written anywhere in the show. And I could go on, but I think I'll leave it here. Diana is a terribly written work that is saved and elevated by an excellent design team and a dedicated cast. If you absolutely feel compelled to see it early before the cast starts to wear and replacements start stepping in, because it's sitting in its sweet spot right now. That sweet spot of being tolerable enough to be entertaining to some degree, but like Charles and Diana's marriage, the wear and tear will show early, and then we will all question, why did we even bother in the first place? But that's just one man's opinion of Diana the musical, so be sure to leave yours in the comments below. If you're interested in seeing Diana, I'll leave a link to their website. Like, share, and subscribe to be notified of future reviews. My next review will be the Broadway production of Trouble in Mind. So until then, so long from One Man's Opinion, and I'll see you at the theater.